Kalani, we're all here, stuck inside of a room that seems to be falling slowly into an inferno. If this is some sort of scene from your past, there might be something you need to reconcile or do, either similarly or differently to what you did last time, and maybe you can help us before we all die.
You hear all of these words, but instead of us, you just hear me. And instead of like you did before, you just hear and reconciling. You just hear, trust yourself, move forward. All right, Pakaz, you're up.
Okay, I have an idea. I think Pakaz would do this.
And the universe goes boom.
Yeah, the universe just implodes.
Oh dear.
Everyone outside the cube just sees it implode in on itself and disappear into nothingness. But in all seriousness, I'm gonna make a use the force check and see if that's enough to send one word to Kalani, just the word act.
Okay. Kalani, you hear the word act, but this time instead of your master's voice, you do hear it in the familiar Pakaz voice. So, with that...
I'm not sure how that's helpful. What am I... what am I missing?
It is now your turn, Kalani.
I'm in the hallway. I continue down it, I guess. But looking around, what's going on?
Right. You continue down for about 2 minutes, and then you see a bridge. It's very familiar to you. It's the same bridge you used to play in as a child, as your parents would fly the ship and spend most of their time here. However, the consoles are all beaten, destroyed, battered, except the one at the very center where your father used to sit and steer the ship. That one is still active. With that, it'll be Ajax's turn. And you guys are free to do things. This order is mostly just to keep things in mind. But if you'd like to skip or move on, you can just say that too.
Yeah, I think he's gonna try and shoot the mirror thing.
Oh boy, I was expecting something like that at some point.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah, so everybody get down.
Han Solo. Let's go.
And he'll aim and, yeah, fire at the...
All right, well, fortunately it's not a 1. The blaster just reflects off the mirror and bounces around on the wall before finally the bolt flies into the inferno below.
You hear an unusually haggard sigh from Pakaz, and he turns to you with a look of utter stupefaction on his face, like, what are you doing? And he says, this is obviously a test of some sort. You're not going to get out of here by shooting things. And he turns back to the screen and continues watching. And you can all hear hear tiredness to his voice.
All right, does anyone else want to do anything?
Well, I guess since there's really no indication that we have on our end that she can't hear us talking in our real voices, I just press down the mic. Since we can hear her, I just press down the button again and ask her.
What's going on here, Colin? Do you recognize any of this? We're sort of in an urgent situation here. Maybe we could help you out.
You hear this, but once again, you just hear singular pronouns. You don't hear us or we. You're free to respond.
This is the ship where you found me, Errol. This is from when I was a child. This is where my parents died.
Because cocks an eyebrow.
Alright. I think everyone's gone except because. Are you gonna do anything?
I think. And do I really have to roll for it to use the force to send messages?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Okay. No, that doesn't.
That's why you have to roll.
Yep, I figured.
Yeah, you try and send messages, but just like Shilu, the force is strange here, and whatever you try to send out, you can feel that it just sort of fizzles, and you can't get it to her. With that ending,
Don't scare me like that.
another section of the floor falls in, and now you can start feeling that heat like a sun on your skin, for those of you with skin exposed. Kalani, you are at the top now. It's your turn.
I look at the console that's intact.
Right. You sit in the seat of your father, and as you look at it, you see two buttons. One that says finish, and another that says stop.
What does that mean? And I say that in character.
All right, you guys can respond to her if you want.
Well, what do you guys think? Do you think that she should press finish or stop?
Honestly, I have no clue.
Well, it seems to me that finishing is a good thing, whereas stopping is more akin to quitting.
So, pushing her forward to overcome this situation then.
Because nods slowly, and then says she is indecisive.
Aye. Alright. Alan will chime in over the mic. Go ahead, lass. Go ahead and finish it as best as you can. Decide. Be decisive. Make your choice.
Once again, your master has a little bit of a strange accent, but the same thing comes through.
Yeah, definitely starting to feel that something's up. From
Like
asking about the place we're in and all, and the strange speech.
I think what you meant was strange dialect. You said her accent sounded like what it's supposed to sound like.
Dialect,
Yeah.
yeah. She says last this time when your master has never said words
Yeah.
like that.
So, kind of strange look at all of that.
As you ponder which button to press,
Uh, I, I, I've still got a rather pained look, but I take a deep breath, gather my strength, and hit finish.
We all
as
fall.
you do,
Go ahead, sorry.
no, you're fine. As you do, there's a grinding halt you hear from somewhere. And for a second, you're horrified because the sound it sounds like metal is cracking and exploding. And actually, you look into your side, the wall that separates you from space begins to open and compress. And you look over in your seat, and instead of space, you see your friends. They are in what looks like kind of like a closet area in just slightly indented dark room. There's a strange console in front of them, and they are all sweating and trying to wipe their brows off, and panting heavily. The fires and sounds from the ship disappear, and where you came from, where the hallway is, there is now a different, strange-looking door.
Kaz turns and walks to go through it.
Aelin will follow, but he'll look back at Ajax and say, well, what temperature did your suit register that we got up into? Sit there for a second.
Yeah, I'm not gonna look.
I'm just kind of blinking, confused now, I think. What
Lass,
just happened?
you made a decision in a fairly fast, or at least faster than usual manner. Let's put it that way. We're thankful you did.
Yeah, as we said earlier, a little bit longer and the floor would have completely given way and we would have all been burned to a crisp. But it looks like you made the right decision, so thank you for that.
So that was you.
What do you mean? Of course it was us.
It didn't sound like you, though. It didn't entirely sound like the person whose voice it sounded like either.
Oh, is that what you meant when you referred to your master? You could hear her voice.
Yes. Though the things she was saying were strange.
This cube continues to surprise us.
Well, let's talk about that once we're out. We'll have plenty of time to catch up and do whatever else needs to be done, but let's just keep moving. And I'll follow Pakaz.
Ajax will follow Pakaz to the door.
And let's try to find at least a little bit of a fan. And Aelin will head on out the door just behind Ajax.
Yeah, find a little bit of a fan and hopefully a lot of water.
And I'll sort of be trying to fan myself and looking very warm and uncomfortable.
Yep, that was 25 feet from me, which means you guys were at 20 feet. Y'all could feel the heat.
You okay?
Feel the burn!
Aside from the sweat, Prakaz doesn't look like he's visually really registered the heat.
Right, as you all enter the next room,
I kind of shudder one last time as I leave that place.
So it's your turn.
Right.
Oh great, Doom.
It's a little darker than I thought, but it's fine. It works.
Bring it.
Right. You enter this room, you hear sounds like ships flying in and out. You hear mechanical droids lifting and hauling things. You see cargo boxes all around yourself. You see a metal, dingy looking floor. Probably hasn't been washed in a long while. And Ayland, as you turn, you see 4 strong looking figures with different sort of armaments. Some with blasters, other with swords looking things. They're all human, but different heights. And behind them, tied up, is a woman with green hair. And she looks at you, and she looks scared, terrified even. And you see around her 3 bleeping devices, each one with a countdown on them. And they go off and off. And you can hear, as she looks up at you, she screams, "Help me! Stop them!" And you hear a voice, and you're not certain where, but it calls to you and it says, "Save her! Stop them!" 4 of you, you see Elon with a very strange look in his eye. You see the cargo bay and you see where you are. But as far as the girl with the devices, you don't see anything. You are just standing in an empty part of the cargo bay.
Oh no.
Kaz looks confused.
Yeah, you're about to
Hey.
be more confused.
Should we roll initiative at this point? I really think we should, because otherwise I'm going to do something.
Sure, let's do that.
Wow, that's the best initiative I've ever rolled.
Oh, that's the wrong button.
Me too. Dang, I did it again. Look at that. I'm on a roll today.
There we go. There's the initiative.
Darn, it's actually better than me. My first good initiative roll is better than it. And so the person that it really matters, if I get a better initiative, then it's better than me.
Ajax, you're up first. You see a very, very confused and probably a little terrified Ayland standing in front of you.
Ayland, what's going on?
Ayland, since your turn is right after his, you can go right after or whenever you want.
Alright. Ayland will draw his blaster, take 2 steps forward, and for the first time ever, you do not hear an accent in his voice. You will let Alora go right now or else he will die. And then his look goes from confused and puzzled and whatnot to protective and very murderous.
Okay, because he's pointing a gun at you.
Trying to think here. I have two options, and I'm trying to think about which one Picasso would actually do.
Especially keeping in mind what he's already seen today.
Yeah. Hey, he's had enough of this. He's just like, nope. And let me do this real quick and see how well this works. Okay, yeah, he just walks this way and up onto the ceiling and just stands there until until it runs out. It's like nothing makes sense anymore. I'm just gonna stop making sense. Today sucks.
Aeland, the figure in front of you, you don't see it walk up the ceiling. It just walks away. Seems to sort of disappear as soon as it touches the wall. In front now, what it does do, however, when it moves, is it reveals that the things in front of her, you can clearly tell are some kind of explosive that are ready to blow in the next minute. Shiloh, it's your turn.
So we don't see any like explosives, right? Or any countdowns.
Or a girl.
Nope.
Yeah.
You see Aeland, very angry, pointing the gun.
I do have a question. Did the character that represented me to Aeland have my facial expression?
Well, for Aeland, they don't really seem to have expressions. They look they look terrifying, and they look like bruisers, like brutes, like you would imagine a mercenary or a thug. But there's no like anger or remorse or surprise. They just sort of seem to stand and stare at him.
Nah, I would also say probably at the start of the next round I just fall to the ground. So whatever, yeah, you can make that appear however you want.
However, he does hear what you guys say. He did hear what Aeland said.
Alright, so he heard me say, Aeland, what's going on?
Yes, but instead of your normal, like, helmeted voice, it's gruff and sounds mercenary-like to his ears.
I'll be right back. 5 seconds. Kaz is noped out anyways.
So it's Shialu's turn at this point.
Okay. Well, so when Pakaz walked away and then his figure disappeared, and since I'm sort of in the front, does Aeland, do you point your gun at me, or what do you do with your gun?
His gun right now is in a ready position at his side in his hand. He's got it ready to raise it up and start taking headshots. And if you look at his eyes, he's going to take headshots. If you don't get out of his way, is the look he's giving.
Okay. Well, since I guess Shiloh doesn't really have time to really analyze what's going on, he'll just say confused. Actually, what was the name that you said? Was it Alara?
Alora, yeah.
Alora, okay.
Aeland, who's Laura? What's going on here? I think there's some sort of illusion trickery.
One of the shorter mercenaries tells you this in a gruff voice. Kalani, you're up.
I didn't catch all of what Shiloh said between Bezek coming back and the voice change thing.
I just asked who Alora was and said this is probably some illusion trickery.
Okay. Aeland, it's us, your friends.
The tallest mercenary with the biggest sword says this to you. It is now your turn. Or Ajax, I'm sorry.
Yeah, first I'm gonna move slightly out of the way. And then
Alon, just Ajax, tell us what's going on. Maybe we can help. Whatever you're seeing, it's not real.
The bigger one, and maybe the leader of the group, says this to you. It is now your turn.
As he steps away,
As he steps away, but he steps towards the wall.
All right. In that case, for him, Aelon will take the opening, cautiously move up to right here, keeping an eye on every single one of you, and he will see about picking up Alora.
You want to read?
Aelon is basically ignoring every single one of you. He just wants to get Alora up and gone.
She's currently tied up to some sort of pole with her arms pulled back. You can see she's been crying, and she looks at you frightened and continues. And as you get closer, she says, stop them, they'll kill us all. And you don't even know why, but there's a voice in the back of your head that says, you need to stop them. You have to. If you don't kill these people, you don't stop them, they're going to kill Alora, and they're going to kill you and everyone else around you.
Aelon will respond, it's alright, Alora. I'll get us out of here. Just trust me, alright? And he'll take a... no, he won't take a blast. He'll see if he can't remove the restraints.
Okay. While you're doing that, because you watch as Aelon seems to walk around something, and then he starts doing something to the air around him.
this
And
is
talking
after
to
I fall
someone.
down from the ceiling, right?
Yes. Although from his perspective, you just reappear from the
Everyone
shadows.
else, though, I just fell off the ceiling.
Yes. They all heard the loud
There's a deep, heavy sigh from Picard, and he just squats down and sits down and says, well, anyone got any ideas what he needs to do to overcome this trial?
You guys are free. You don't have to wait on your turn to talk to each other.
Aelon, we don't know what's going on. How can we help?
I will say to Picasso's question, well, it seems like he's trying to rescue someone, although I don't see anyone there, so I'm not quite sure how we can help.
Aelon, these words, different from before, now they're talking in a strange language you aren't familiar
Oh,
with.
great.
And they seem to be talking a bit gruff, but almost angrily towards each other.
Aelon will keep his eyes on them and kind of say back, if y'all try to stop me, or wait, sorry, if y'all try to stop me, I will kill you. Do not stop me.
Maybe we better back off. He's,
Aelon, you finish untying the girl, And as you do, you glance down and you notice the bombs are at 30 seconds. And she points this out to you and screams, "Stop them! That one!" She points towards the big one with the sword. "That one has the code. Stop them."
Oh boy.
So who is it? Alon's turn.
See, Shialu and Kalani have not gone yet, so technically it's theirs.
Okay. Well, in response to his statement, I will say,
No one's going to stop you, Elon. Just do whatever you have to do.
and then I will also sit down against this other wall.
And I'll follow.
Four of them go to walls and sit. It's a bit strange. Maybe they're afraid of you. But combined with Alora's voice and this strange voice, it feels like it's your own in the back of your head, telling you that they are the immediate danger. It's difficult for you to understand completely what's going on. So, Aelin, it's your turn then.
Alright, I will point my gun at Kalani and say, hand over the code now. These bombs have 30 seconds. You better hand it over.
Code? Bombs? What are you talking about? I don't even see any bombs.
She sneers at you in an unfamiliar language.
Oh, great.
Fine, I don't have time for this. And Aelin will pick up Alora and as fast as he can run.
All right, you grab her hand, you make it towards the door, and as you get closer to the door, this darkened figure, same height as you, stops you and says, "No. You will not let these people die. You will stop these bombs. Stop them."
And the box is getting really nasty now.
So, can we see anything where the bombs are, or is it just like empty space? Or do we see like inactive bombs or something, or we just have no idea what he's talking about?
This time you do see something. You don't see the girl, you don't see the bombs, but you see a black, shadowed figure standing in front of Aelin. And you hear it tell him this, that he needs to stop you.
So is it my turn yet?
Sure.
Guys, what do we do? These illusions are...
Yeah, because
Messing
isn't
with
having
everything.
any of this. He does this to the figure, if possible. Probably no. He does nothing.
What?
He does
Oh.
absolutely nothing.
Once again, the force is strange here, and it's like you can't bring it to coalesce around you and use it. You reach out, and it's like it scatters. It runs from you.
He just shrugs and sits back down.
Kalani, Shialu, you guys haven't had a turn yet. Is there something you want to do?
Well, if this is some sort of illusion, and he wants you to give him a code for a bomb, you could just make something up that might work.
Okay, well, I guess, wait, so I'll look around at the others. What do you guys do when I suggest that? Does it seem like you guys think that's a bad idea or a good idea?
I just seem like I don't think this is gonna work.
He doesn't even seem to be understanding us anymore.
If the box can change the way we look and the way what our words sound like, or what we're saying, which for all we know, it is, because he's not responding in a way I'd expect from any of the things we've said. I don't think anything we do can affect anything. This is a trial for him, not us.
Well, I guess, I will turn to Aeland, and I'll just say,
Well, listen here, Aeland. I don't want any trouble and I don't want to die. I'm just a hired hand, but I think the code for the bombs is 57243. Hurry up and defuse them before we all die.
Aeland, you hear this in clear basic. At this point, Alora tugs on you and says, "Do it, do it."
Alright, Aelin will look at the mercenary who is standing in for Shiloh and say, if you're lying, I will make sure you suffer before these things go off. And he'll dash over there and set those in, or put it in the code, and quietly says to himself, I will not let you die again.
You enter the code. For a moment, the countdown stops, and then speeds up exponentially. And before you even have a chance to react, you see them just explode inside your face. You hear Alora's voice scream out in pain. You hear a figure in the back saying, "No, no," and poof, you are in the cargo bay, but this time there's no one around you. It's empty. Your friends are back, but Alora is gone. The cargo containers are gone. And the only thing that remains is the little voice in the back of your head that says, "You let her die again."
Aelin just drops to his knees, tears just streaming.
And because just
Aelin?
says,
so what did we see?
kind of disinterested, is it over yet?
You saw him rush back, try to do something, and then in a flash, his demeanor changed from focused and determined to just completely devastated.
Kaz looks around for a door.
Aelin?
That door does appear at the far end.
He just trudges on through it. Same tired,
Aelin? What happened?
regular walking speed. It's a little slower than he normally is.
Well, if I see Pakaz trying to go for the door, I'll call after him and say,
Wait, because don't go through the door yet.
He doesn't really hear you, he just keeps going.
okay, I will use move object and try to grab you.
Well, I can't beat anyone's use the force check anymore. Everyone's as good as me now.
Or at least getting better enough rolls. The dice, they're weird.
Alan will just look at his gun and just toss it away, staying there devastated.
Aelin, what happened? Can you at least hear us and understand us now?
Yeah, you can hear them, and they're clearly there.
Yeah. He'll just nod and just say, she's dead.
Aelin, it was an illusion. This place was trying to get you to attack us.
You don't understand. She is dead.
Maybe I don't understand. But my parents are dead too. I couldn't save them. Couldn't save them. I couldn't save Telos. I don't know what happened with... I don't know what happened to you, but... you probably couldn't save her either.
He just looks over at you, tears still streaming down his face, with this slight smile on his face, like, yes, I could have.
I don't know what happened, and I'm sorry.
And he looks up at the ceiling, just kind of staring into space. At least for a moment, and then stands up, goes over, grabs his blaster, and again you hear uncharacteristically, no accent, "They'll pay," as he walks towards the door.
Oh, well, before we move on to the next challenge, I think that we should talk about something.
And you guys can see that he's sort of like staring at the next door, like very hesitantly.
I think it's very clear that obviously a challenge for me is next, and I admit that I am afraid of what that might look like, and what you guys may appear as. So, if we can try to figure out a way around this, Doxus tricks, that you guys will be able to communicate with me when we step into the next room. Because
Kaz stops. He turns around and says, "The cube can manipulate all of it appears all of our senses. There's no way to deal with that. You just have to overcome whatever challenge it gives you." And then he turns straight around and walks through the door.
Well, regrettably, I guess it's hard to argue with that.
And I will sigh. But I won't go through the door yet.
Well, whatever it is, we got your back. Unless you think we're not who we actually are.
And Ajax will walk through the door.
Elond already went through the door, right?
Yeah, almost a shadow upon him, but yeah, his head is down, determined, almost like he's on a mission again.
Aelin, before you walked through the door, you noticed just out of the corner of your eye that dark figure was still there, but this time it wasn't. You saw it coalesce into a being, and you saw yourself. And there was a look in your eye that scared even you. Your face was pale, and the eyes were red, but you could tell it was you. A much angrier and more determined version of yourself, staring at you before you walked through the door.
When he steps through to the other side, he just kind of mumbles, "Perhaps I'll see you again." Switching back to the accent, just kind of coming back in, almost like he'd never lost it.
All right, who's all through the
Oh.
door?
Before we go through, I'll say to Shiloh, whatever awaits us in there, stay strong and remember that this place can mess with your head. Try not to let it. Try to fight it.
And
Keep better on Sapphire.
the people who are through the door while this happens are me, Ajax, and Elond.
And I'll kind of give a nod and head through the door.
Okay, then I will walk up to the door and sort of just stare into it, and then take a deep breath, and then slowly walk through.
Okay. So, it is almost midnight here. We can either continue on and just finish Shialu's part, or we can save it till next week. Just want to give that option to you guys now.
What? What do you mean stop? No. It's not even 1 o'clock yet.
I don't know. I don't really know how late it is for the rest of you. It's almost midnight here, so I just want to be aware of everyone else's schedules. It's up to you guys. I can keep going, but it's up to you guys.
So can I?
I can keep going. It's almost midnight here as well. I'm on the same time as you are, Zeri.
Okay. All right, then I will need a 2-minute break, and then I will be right back and we'll finish this.
Okay.
Okay.
No problem.
Is that okay with you, Kylar?
Yeah.
Yay. Okay, I'll be right back to you. I need to get some more water.
Well, this is certainly going to make me ponder about how to make Pikaz behave from now on.
Backstory, and yet I'm not sure we really understand everyone else's.
I don't think Pikaz is even trying to understand anyone else's.
True.
Not at this point.
Yeah, I feel like mine was not helpful for you guys figuring out anything about my backstory.
Y'all probably got a lot of clues as to what's going on with Aelin.
Well, especially me, since I had that conversation with you earlier.
Oh yeah.
You guys got a very small piece of my backstory. The most recent piece of his backstory to the events going on right now.
A little bit of a prankster is Paquez.
Well, I wouldn't really say that.
Okay, I'm back.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
You can remember the visions that you got. He had a really crazed look in his eye. Nothing like what he looks like now. His demeanor was different. He looked disconnected with reality. It's all wrong and weird.
Again, how is this different?
All right, I'm back.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Okay, so we're getting to the final, at least somewhat final test here.
Oh no, because he's drowning.
Where's my swim trunks?
We're also all sideways.
All right. As you guys step out of the door, you are immediately shocked to see that you are standing on some sort of water surface. The water seems to splash over your shoes, but you can't see what you're standing on. You can't see where there's a bottom. You seem to be standing on an ocean. As it gets, as you can hear the waves moving in and out, but in the area you're standing in, it manages to stay somewhat calm and reserved. However, the sky above is covered in darkness, and there's lightning and thunder and rain pouring on all of you. There is a small, just on the horizon, you can see a small speck of a city, silver and gleaming. In front of you, however, is an old creature. The four of you have no clue really what this is. You've never seen a creature quite like him. But for your lack of understanding, you do understand a wounded creature when you see one, and you can see this one is bleeding out. He is, his body has injuries all throughout. There's whatever looks, it might be a nose or an eye. There's some sort of liquid pouring out from his face. In front of him, however, is a creature similar to Shaialu. And in fact, very similar. Skin tone almost the same, little shorter and smaller. And they are wearing black leather clothes all over, and their arm is sleeveless with black bindings around the wrist. In one hand, it's empty and almost like it's getting ready to close into a fist. But the other is a gleaming red lightsaber. Shaialu, you immediately recognize the whippet that is your master, Karanyu. You can see that he's very gravely injured, but standing over him is an individual you never thought you would see here or anywhere else besides home. You see Keisha, your sister, standing and looking angrily towards you. As you step through, she looks at you and says, "You left me. You left me for them."
Okay, so as soon as I like step through the door, and if I see, like, as soon as I see the red lightsaber in Keisha's hand, I just like let out like a really loud, like bellowing scream sound, whatever would sound like a Selkath would make when they're just screaming like at the top of my lungs, and I'm just like yelling incoherently.
The four of you, there is just a sonic sound of sound waves going through your head. It's piercing. Even you're having a hard time concentrating. You're not even sure where
Ow.
it started from. You see that the Whippet is also bringing his hands up, covering his ears over his already injured form. You can see it's difficult for him. I'm gonna say each of you take 2 points of sonic damage as it just pierces through your head and your eardrums. Everyone except Shiloh. Shiloh, as you stand there screaming, eventually the figure, your master puts up his hand. Please stop! You're hurting us! You're hurting us! Stop!
Yeah, because wait, we should probably have initiative.
Sure, go ahead. All right. Hey, Jack, have you gone first this whole night?
Yep, every single time. Except for the time you make Kalani go first.
Okay, well then, the one who's the most prepared for this box goes first once again.
Yeah, he'll just raise his gun and point it at this person that's holding a lightsaber over here. And
Shiloh, what's going on?
that'll be it.
Through the screaming.
You guys are free to talk and stuff. It's just any actions you take will need to be in order. So if you guys want to shout at him, maybe he'll hear you, maybe he won't. But it's up to you.
Okay. Well, the first thing I'm going to do is try to do this. Okay, I want to pick up and move her
Okay.
10 feet
Aelin,
in
do
the
you
air.
want to? Aelin, do you want to do anything before he does that?
No. Still need
And I'll
to sit and think after his particular predicament.
Okay.
And I'll just hold her there 10 feet in the air so she can't reach anyone with non-force power things.
As you reach up to pick her up, you see she just sneers at you and just smiles and says, "Petty little Kaz, you can't hurt me here." And she remains standing.
Because raises an eyebrow and then shrugs and then sits down on the waves.
She turns back at you, Shiloh. "So what will it be now, brother? Now that I'm here and you're there, you going to kill me, or are you going to let me kill him?" And she motions towards the Whippet.
Is anyone else going to do anything before it's my turn? Okay, I'll take that as a no.
Yeah, Elon's not. He's still got his head